Feel pretty good. I mean, I think that those guys have competed at a high level, all gotten a ton of really good work in, ton of reps. All have had ups and downs, but there's been a couple guys that have been really consistent and have improved throughout this training camp. So definitely feel better about it than we did, maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, and even this spring.
Kaya in particular, what's the difference between him 2 years ago when you had him?
So much more confidence, just knowing how to operate, be a normal student, just be a kid, have confidence, how to carry himself, and he's performed. He's played at a high level, and he's improved tremendously since I first met Kaya.
Liam, when you watched the tape from the scrimmage Saturday, what kind of stood out?
I thought we did some nice things in the red zone at times. Had a couple, one protection bust on a touchdown that was disappointing. Did some good things throughout. Had some young guys make a lot of plays, which was cool to see. And then had some things that came up on the tape that we need to improve on. And I thought it was a step in the right direction just in terms of from the first scrimmage till that practice. Did some better things. Did a lot of situational awareness stuff, which was great for our offense and team to get. But I did think you saw a little bit of an improved version of our offense.
You mentioned young guys there. We've heard a lot about Anthony Brown, but are there other freshmen who have kind of locked themselves into that rotation yet, or is it?
I'd say probably not quite yet. There's still some of those young guys still trying to figure it out. I mean, AB had a little bit of a leg up on some of those guys by being here, and he's a different kid. AB's he's definitely got a shot. So he'll give us reps and be able to get into the rotation, and but for the rest of some of those younger guys, still work in progress, trying to get better every day.
Is that partially because you have a lot of talent in that room already? You don't need those younger guys?
Just haven't really earned it. You earn you earn it, and you get what you get, and especially if you're not available health-wise, it's hard to just kind of say any true freshman's going to be in the rotation if they haven't really done it yet. So, when they show it in practice, then they'll get those opportunities for sure.
When 11-on-11, we get to see the backs run through tackles. If any of them stood out at all?
We didn't do it. We ran it pretty good in the 4-minute drills and, in some of the short yardage deals. And, that was good to see. And it was good to see Ramon. None of them were really tackling until we got to the third, to the end of the scrimmage. So you couldn't really tell if we were breaking tackles early on. We were doing 1s and 2s. But you did see some good bursts through the line of scrimmage. And saw Ramon, Ray, and Jatan do some really good things. Demi had a little bit of work, but we're kind of keeping off of him in some ways. And then Ramon got his first real live work since that last scrimmage, coming back from that ACL. Jamari and Wilcox did a couple good things throughout the scrimmage as well. So feel pretty good about those guys, carrying the football, and be interested to see him live.
Liam, Mark talked about some of the strides that Kel has made on and off the field, just since the spring. What have you seen from him saw from him during camp? And
just trying to get more consistent. Just consistency day in and day out. Catching the football consistently, being accountable, being at the right route depth, all that kind of stuff. And it's a work in progress, right? He's definitely improved, and I've liked his demeanor over the last week. You've seen kind of a tough demeanor, a guy that's serious about his work and what he's trying to get accomplished. So, we need the Kel Crowders to step up. We need them flat out.
Everybody talks about Devin's accuracy. This may be a crazy question, but what leads to a quarterback being an accurate passer? Is it footwork? Is it just God-given ability? Is it the mechanics? What is it?
I think your stroke is your stroke. It's like a golf swing. And if you are you got a natural stroke, a lot of those guys are typically pretty accurate. And it's not a lot of wasted motions. It's smooth. He's been throwing the football the same way for a long time. He hasn't had a ton of mechanical tweaks throughout his career. He's just got a natural stroke and throws the ball firm. That's what a lot of guys miss on, especially in the short to intermediate throws when they don't drive it. You lose accuracy. He drives it, which definitely makes that ball more catchable.
So you've not had to work on mechanics at all with him?
Not really. Footwork. Footwork and then above the neck stuff, but I have not talked or touched about his stroke at all.
How close are you to knowing who's going to be in that right tackle spot when you go?
I don't think, we may not know that for a little while here. Those guys are in competition. That competition I can see playing out through maybe even the first few games. We want to be able to have more depth, play more guys, get more guys involved. And I think that ultimately if somebody doesn't fully emerge, but even if they might fully emerge, you still want to rotate. We still want to get some of those guys some good work in and try to get them chemistry with the different crews, and but we're going to need that. We're going to need to do that. We might need to play 7 or 8 guys at times. So it's just trying to get them as much chemistry with those groups as we can. But I don't think that'll fully sort itself out for a couple weeks here.
Liam, is that a concern or just a sign that the competition's going?
I think it's a sign that the competition's going better. In terms of, like, we'd love to have somebody fully emerge, but you see the guys that we've got rotating at that position, you'd say that they're improved. So that's a good thing. I definitely can say that Jeremy Flax has improved from the spring. I know that for a fact. And we got some of those other guys competing at that spot. Cortland and Dylan Ray, guys like that are getting reps at that right tackle position. Well, they got to keep doing their thing, keep pushing that envelope. But all of them have earned some time. And at the end of the day, how much time that is, I'm not sure quite yet. But it's not a full, clear-cut deal, but that's a good thing right now.
You mentioned how hard is it to, I know we hear that a lot, want to have a rotation, want to
yeah.
Guys, but how hard is it to actually, when push comes to shove, put the backups in?
Oh, we're not, yeah, I'm more so mean, like if something happens and we got to swing, that's more so. All right, if the right tackle position's not fully sorted out yet, well, you rotate them every series, every 2. You can do that with one position. I don't think you can do that at multiple different positions to kind of disrupt some of the chemistry within the unit. But I think we need to have 8 ready to play. I think we do have 8 guys that are fully capable, maybe 9, that are fully capable of going in and playing for us, but that doesn't mean that's going to be a full rotation at that point.
You mentioned Jamarian as a guy who made some plays Saturday. What do you like about him whenever he does prove ready to play? What does he add to that?
He's got some gas, man. He's got real gas. He can really run with the football outside the tackles. He had one, had a good catch in the scrimmage. He's done some nice things for us, and he's a little slasher. He's a little slasher between the tackles. He's a one-cut guy, vertical, man. I like the kid. I like him, and he's growing, and just on and off the field, getting better and better, and more trustworthy, and a guy that you can count on, and you could tell it means a lot to the kid.
Tavion said it's a big year for him. How was this camp? How's he been?
Much more, much improved camp than I'd say, from spring football. We need Tavion Robinson to step up and be a playmaker for us. We need Tavion Robinson to step up and be consistent, tough, physical, and be a leader. And I think he has some of those capabilities. I know he can catch the football in traffic. I know he can make people miss. We need to get him involved in our own way, but also him playing for his teammates, playing with his teammates, and having a lot of fun doing it.
Everybody good?
Oh, yeah. I saw something. I had talked to him last week. He mentioned something of it a couple months ago that might be something that might happen. But I know he hurt his quad, so I was a little bit hurting for him there. And hey, good for Will. Whatever positivity comes his way, man, is positivity for me.
What have you seen out of Cummings?
Yeah, Zay's just continued to work, man. He's one of our best kids, right? On and off the field, does everything right. He plays fast. When Zay's confident in something that he's doing, he does it at a high level. And we need to just make sure we focus in on and hone in on the things that he does really well at a high level and put him in a position to be successful. But Zay's done a nice job throughout training camp. He was nicked up a little bit, came back, and he's feeling better. So hopefully get him full tilt, come Ball State.
Would you describe that as your deepest spot?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say it definitely is. It gives us the flexibility to be an 11, 12, 21, 13, 14. And all those guys are a little different, right? They all have their own kind of niche and some of the things that they do well and what others do well. And, we definitely need to get those guys on the field and put them in a position to be successful.
Coach, how do you feel generally about the wide receiver group right now? Do you think you're edging towards a couple guys that could be your mainstays and cornerstones?
Yeah, I think that you got the guys, the young kids that have, had a lot of success last year, but they need to stay healthy. That's hard. They play hard. It's a violent game. They need to stay healthy, and then you probably got, probably 3 or 4 guys behind them that you feel good about putting in the game and being able to make plays. And it's not the deepest of rooms, but I think it's talented. You're talking about 8 scholarships on at the receiver position, and obviously not all 8 are going to play. So you're talking about 4 or 5 guys that ultimately are going to need to help you throughout the entire season, practice, games, whatever you're asking them to do. Well, that's how you offset, maybe some of the depth at wide receiver by playing with some more tight ends, more halfbacks, some of those things, because we can't just live in 11 personnel for 75 snaps a game and think we're going to make it through the season.
All right, folks, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
I thought it was going to be like real easy, slam dunk, call, get in touch with them. Next thing I know, Ohio State, Oklahoma, all these other schools were trying to get him because he was probably at the time the #1 left tackle in the portal. But he came, and his parents seen that this was a good culture here. He got some very good parents, very religious parents. And he was supposed to go to Oklahoma, I think, after our trip, and he ended up telling us that day that he's called back in my office and said, "Coach, I think I'm going to stay here." And we were elated because we all knew the issues we had with our O-line, the last year. So, I mean, that was getting him was really, just as good, just as important as getting a quarterback. And he's been everything you want. He's been a pro. He was volunteering on, like when we have official visits. He's a senior and he's volunteered to do host kids. So he's everything we wanted, everything.
Can you tell just the kind of cascade effect of having that left tackle position in the offense fixed, just the effect it has everywhere else?
Yeah, because that was the elephant in the room last year. And I think when we got him, solidified him, it just gave us confidence that, okay, we knew we still had Flax. We knew we had some other guys, but at least we knew we had a solid left tackle. And I'm going to tell you a great story about him. When Courtland got in the portal, Courtland was a left tackle, and it was the same connection. Somebody else that I knew his dad, and it was actually Jansen Dunn's dad played college basketball with his dad and said, "Hey, this kid thinking about going in the portal." And we was like, man, he's a left tackle. And to tell you the type of guy Marcus Cox is, Marcus Cox came to me and said, "Hey, Coach, I'll play right tackle." And I think when he said that, Courtland's parents were like, "You know what? That was a good gesture for him, so we'll come in and play right tackle." But just getting Marcus, I think it made Liam a lot happier, it made Stoops a lot happier, and it made us now say, okay, we got this block, now let's get this block developed with 2 or 3 guys.
Liam just said tight end's the deepest position on the offense. Can you get all those guys involved?
Man, it's going to be – I have a serious problem right now. Like, I'm really being serious, because we was talking to a scout, the assistant GM for the Chiefs, and Dane happened to come in my room, and he asked Dane, he said, "Hey, how good is the tight ends?" And Dane said he echoed what I said like a week ago. I can close my eyes, and if we got 12 personnel, I can pick any 4 of them guys. And Kamari, being the freshman, is coming on. But, if that was 4 years ago, Kamari would be our starter. But we are so, I think what people forget about, I read the paper and I see, they got this projected starters, and they got Caddis and Bates. Well, did y'all see Jordan Dingle play last year? Jordan Dingle was a pretty good tight end. And now that he's back, he was pretty good out there today. It's just a good problem to have with Bates being the veteran in there. But we got 3 really good young guys. And then Isaiah Cummings, now that Liam is back, Isaiah Cummings probably was the best tight end in training camp. So it's a good problem to have. Now, I just got to make sure I don't screw it up. So
There's been talk with Isaiah and Liam coming back. Is it just his energy level, pep in his step, just confidence? What is it about that, I guess, partnership with him?
Yeah, that's a good question. There was a lot of people that wanted Isaiah because they remember seeing him in 21, the plays he made. There was one particular school down the road that I think he was really considering going to, but, me and Zay got a really good relationship, and I told him, I said, "Hey, man, when I knew it was probably going to be a change and we had an idea who the coordinator was, it was like Christmas. Zay's whole attitude just changed, and it was very unfair for him, man, because he was such a big factor in that offense, and then just to go to nothing. But what I love about Zay, he kept his character right. He was very supportive of other guys, but now it's his time, and he's actually even more bigger, faster, stronger right now. So I'm very excited to see him.
Vince, when you have a room that's this deep and talented, and it sounds like these guys have earned their chance to be on the field, and then you factor in the portal on top of it, do you have to get creative in certain ways to make sure those guys have earned it?
Well, I don't think we'd be looking for a tight end in the portal for a while because we're very talented. But even though they played last year, in my room, it's all what you. It ain't what you did last year. It's what you're gonna do this year, and they are competing right now, and it's gonna be. It's very hard to me right now. I think Bates is the true why, but Caddis can be a true why. But Bates has earned it. Bates has had a really good training camp. And so Bates is a true wide, and the other guys you just throw in there.
Brendan told us he doesn't want to be typecast just as the blocking tight end anymore, which is why he lost weight. He wanted to prove himself as a pass catcher. Have you seen that kind of motivation?
I don't think y'all realize Bates was pretty fast. Like, now he was damn near 270. He was 270 last year. I said, you're going to be a tackle if you go over that mark. And he came back in spring. He was 255. We had Bates at almost 21 miles per hour at one time here. You guys don't see everything. I think a couple of you guys might have been at the scrimmage, our first scrimmage. And he really was very, very productive in that scrimmage. I think he had about 3 catches for about 60-some yards, and I think he had a touchdown. But where I love him is he's still very physical at the point of attack. And, he does get labeled like that, I think, sometimes because of all the other guys. But he's a pretty reliable guy. I'm very excited about Brendan Bates.
Liam mentioned to us that
Your fall camp in Kentucky. How was it? And what made it different than your previous stops at Temple and Vandy?
Just a camaraderie with the guys. We spent a lot of time together, from being in the weight room, being in the film room, just even eating a lot and just being on the field. I think that's just been the biggest difference, just having that camaraderie and building that chemistry, and it, translating to the field. It's not shallow words when we say we're a brotherhood and we're a band of brothers. It is real, and it's very 100% real.
Okay, so after 2 scrimmages in, what are some things maybe you all need to improve, and what's some things you're feeling good about on offense?
I can't give that to you.
I
can't give that to you.
Okay, let's talk about for you specifically, just you. What do you have any goals this year you want to accomplish?
Yeah, I for sure got goals. I definitely want to be back another 1,000-yard back.
Yeah.
I don't really care for accolades. I've always been the underdog my whole life. Of all SEC, all that other stuff, that doesn't mean nothing to me. It's about making my team happy and do what I got to do, and whatever individual success that brings to help us get to where we want to go, that's great. But I just want to be a 1,000-yard back again and continue to show people I could be a workhorse in this league again.
What about in the pass game? I mean, there's been a lot of talk that you are going to be involved with more running backs, tight ends. Kentucky's going to throw a lot. How's that been, and what can you bring in that aspect?
I mean, we got Devin Leary.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's throwing the ball, we're going to be successful. And I love to be out there and catch him. Whether I'm catching or whether I'm running, I'm going to continue to do what I got to do to show I'm a versatile playmaker.
What makes Devin? Like, what if you? Someone say, why is Devin Leary a good quarterback? What would you say?
I mean, just look at him.
Just
you know what I'm saying? He got the swag. He got the confidence, and I mean, he's always poised. There's nothing shakes him. Every time he steps on that field, he's always confident in everything that he does. And even if he does mess up, it's always the next play mentality. And I think that's the great thing of having a quarterback who's a leader and understands that not everything's going to be perfect. But at the end of the day, if you continue to do what you got to do and can control what you can control, you're going to become successful.
Does that rub off on the other 10 guys in the huddle?
Oh man, it rubs off on everybody on the team, not just the offense. I think the defense, I think the special teams, I think even the coaches. I think when they see a guy who takes care of his stuff and comes in and puts his hard hat on and grabs his lunch pail and just goes to work, he doesn't give you no excuses. Yeah. And that's one thing I love about him, and that's one thing that I definitely learned from him, is to just being composed and just not making no excuses and going out there and just executing what you got to do.
If you guys were to open the season this weekend, you think you'd be ready to go?
Me personally? Oh, I'm ready to go right now. Just give me my jersey. As a team, I think we'll be good. It's just about going out there and playing. We can't underestimate our opponent. Ball State is a really good team. They got some really good players, and they run a lot of good different schemes on defense. So it's about going out there and just executing what we can do and just taking play by play. Not trying to go outside our frame, not trying to be too big, not trying to be too pretty or cocky. Just go out there and play Kentucky football. And I think y'all know what that's been the past couple of years, and y'all know what it was in 2021. And the goal is to try to replicate that or even be better than that.
It's been through a lot of fall camps and practices leading up to a season. It's gotten a little toasty on us here also. Did you guys need this? You probably don't like to see it.
What, the heat?
Yeah, when they start talking about close to 100 this week.
I mean, I'm from California, so we getting the heat constantly every day, all day, and I just spent a year in Nashville, so the heat is nothing. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna cancel the game. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna sit there, and we can't be babies about it. So we're gonna go out there if it's 100, 115, 120. We got to go out there. We got to play. We got to go and get a W.
So is it good to get a little taste of it before?
For sure. No doubt, for sure. I mean, y'all know what that Vandy game was like. It was like 30 degrees last year, so I would prefer this over that for sure.
Ray,
sure.
What do you see from Jamarion at your position as a young guy who's trying to prove himself at this level?
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I said during media day, he's going to be a guy who's going to come in and compete and work. And once he gets the hang of college football and gets the scheme and all the other stuff down, he's going to be a heck of a player. You know, he's going to have to be the leader when guys leave. You know, when Jatan and Ramon and me and you know those guys, we all balance. You know, he has to be able to step up and take control of that room. And I think he's learning every day, and I think he's gonna slowly make that transition. I mean, you guys can see out here, he's a fast player. He's very methodical in his cuts. He's very patient, and you know, he's slowly getting better as the time goes on.
A lot of the off-season talk for the fans has been about the O-line, trying to get that big blue wall kind of reconstructed. As a running back, you know, lining up behind those guys, what do you see from them and their progress as the season gets closer?
Man, my guys are good. You know, those guys up front have been doing what they got to do. Marcus, Horsey, Eli, Jagger, Flax, you know, Court, you know, a lot of those guys, even in the second group, those guys are coming and working every day. You know, it starts in what they do in their room, and they're building that chemistry and that bond and that brotherhood, and that translates to on the field. You got guys who are stepping up and stepping out their comfort zone, and I think when it's time to go against somebody else, they're going to show what they've been working on. And, you know, I know it's been a constant, you know, thing about those guys, but, man, we ain't got nothing to worry about. You know, those guys are going to go out there and play their game, and I'm 1,000% confident in them, and I would hope everybody else needs to be 1,000% confident in them, because what Coach Ians is doing is he's stepping up to the plate. You know, a lot of guys always talking about the O-line, but y'all got to give him his respect as a coach, and, you know, got to give the players their respect, too. They're coming out here and they're working every day. Extra work constantly. They're doing what they got to do. And, you know, I think we're going to be successful as long as they do what they got to do.
What was your first impression of Marcus Cox when you both got here?
Oh, he's a teddy bear. I mean, he's a big teddy bear, but I love him, you know, because he works hard. Same thing with Dev. I think they have a very similar mindset. You know, they approach the game very similar. We're old heads, but, hey, we're going to go out there and we got to do what we got to do. And we're going to control what we can control. And if we can bring a couple guys with us, we're going to bring a couple guys with us. With Marcus and Dev, they're going to bring the whole team. They're not just trying to bring a couple stragglers, you know. And that's the good thing about them, and that's the one thing I love is, again, they're going to be consistent. And the days that they are off, you won't even know it because it won't faze them. Marcus will still be laughing and still cracking jokes, and Dev will still have a poised face. So I think Marcus is. I'm happy Marcus is here. I'm happy I got to play against him. I'm happy I'm playing with him, and I'm continuing to learn from him every day.
Thanks, Ray.
Perfect.